Hi, I'm Elizabeth with L&E Research, and I'm here to share more about online transcription portal and keyword search so you can identify themes for reporting. Let's learn more about these transcription offerings from our technology partner, Focus Forward. Hi, I'm Elizabeth with L&E, and today we'll be exploring the latest in technologies used in on-site qualitative research. We will cover what's new, what's improved, and what's to come. We'll explore the latest in camera and streaming technology, how online tools can help manage projects, and the latest improvements and solutions like transcriptions. Combined, the qualitative research community can take away from this webinar how these tools can help them meet the holy triangle of what corporate clients want: faster results, better quality, all at lower cost. So now I'd like to introduce our two guest speakers for today. We have Brett Watkins, President of L&E Research, and Kim Harrison, CEO of Focus Forward. Brett, why don't you get us started on how technology is impacting every step of the typical qualitative project?
Well, hey, Elizabeth, I appreciate the invite, and thanks for the introduction. Looking forward to chatting with everybody today about some of the advances as we look at qualitative research. As we often talk a lot about in the industry as far as the analytics and the advances that technology are making to that, but we don't often get the opportunity to kind of pull the covers back, so to speak, and take a look at the actual process that's involved and the exciting changes that technology is taking place in the actual execution of in-person qualitative research. As we look at recruiting and project management, you know, some of the biggest advances that we see today is, and I am always constantly having this conversation with clients, is, you know, we're not your mother's or grandmother's research firm anymore. The data mining techniques that are being applied in other forms of market research are being seen here today in terms of what we are doing at recruitment at levels as well. So the days of having a static spreadsheet or a very rudimentary dynamic database like an Access are long gone. The technology platforms that we use have invested over 7 figures of money in terms of advanced technology that's web-based for better security, as well as the ability to gain more information on our participants, enables us to have a smarter recruiting platform. And specifically what that means is we're no longer just asking questions and writing on pen and paper, or pencil and paper actually, as the old process used to go. Today we're asking questions of people, but we're capturing that information constantly throughout the process, both via phone as well as when we interview folks online. What that means and what that does for us is it gives us a broader overview of what our participants are thinking, which means makes us smarter recruiters. So we can ask fewer questions, we can get to people faster, we can learn more about them, and this is information that we can pass on to clients. So even at the onset of projects, we can now have a much smarter discussion in terms of the design process as to what's going on and how to have a more effective recruit. And then once we get into the recruit, some of the things that we're showing here today that we have on screen, which is actually a small glimpse into our client portal, is really where portals are actually invaluable to clients today. It means that as opposed to the times before where you were constantly having to wait on a once a day or maybe even twice a day, depending upon your requirements to your recruiting side, but 24/7 access to information is available here to you. So the actual recruiting process now from our technology not only allows us to do smarter recruiting and learn more about what's going on, but now we can share that information in real time. And it gives clients a secure and easy way to access, to look what's going on, to download information, to begin to looking at what's going on with folks. The communication process is improved. And that's really a big thing of also where our dynamics and what we call our Facility Manager Plus or FMP technology really enables us to have a deeper conversation with clients and actually to perform a better recruiting and project management solution. Project managers are now able today to be, we have redundancy built in to where we actually have people that are spread throughout all of our markets who can work on these projects, but also keep in touch, therefore allowing, hey, if one person is not there available at any time, there's actual backup and the systems allow that backup. So communication is really key, and how that technology helps with that. As we look at kind of the portal and kind of spreading in, want to take just a brief moment, if we would here. Elizabeth, let's show a brief video from the client portal, what that looks like, so we can, so everybody can see the benefits to that. The actual, again, looking at the elements of what we can do with the portal technology, we really are able to now get, again, faster information, more accurate information, deeper information on people. Project management communication now improves, and so we really ensure that there's a better process at the end, that what's all important that we all talk about is the best recruiting is what's critical. This enables that process to happen and allows more people to be involved to ensure that, when the lights go on for the show, as they say, the right recruits are there, the right conversations are being had, the research is having its greatest impact, and therefore the best learning is involved to where clients can make the best decisions in terms of how to change business and make improvements. So technology really is impacting us beyond just not only the analytics, but obviously in real time and reporting as well. So when we get from there, we really then lead into the next phase of this. So we've now looked at the actual on-moment process, while we're executing the project. So the project has started, and we're now leading into the day of process. So we now then get into some really exciting technologies and features in terms of where we look at streaming. Streaming has really evolved and changed. Most people, when they think about this kind of technology, really are unfamiliar with how much has really changed. Streaming really was evolved back to the beginnings of what was video conference work. So, peer-to-peer point technologies where you literally had phone connection on one end that went to the other. And now today, that piece is being broadcast over the internet. And for many of us, we take advantage of that experience, not realizing that the streaming is actually a fascinating blend of two very different technologies, which is the audio-video technology of what you see on video and screen, interlaced into the world of information technology, or IT. Most of us take for granted that wonderful stuff that we see on television every day has actual production companies with millions and millions of dollars of both talent and technology that enable that to happen. So the fact that we can today, even in an environment, offer streaming solutions at such low cost and effective measures, despite the very relatively minimal glitches, is truly amazing. And the latest now things that have come up today, which we're showing here today, as far as what we're looking at on site, is that we're very excited about, is not only moving to an HD format, so you have clear resolution, but the introduction of 360 cameras, which are solutions provided by Polycom technology. The image that you see actually up here on the screen today actually gives you a picture of what that camera looks like, and it's really neat stuff in the fact that for a relatively unobtrusive, non-moving camera that sits in the center of the table, you can now get actual up-close and feel image that you would feel from videography. This allows not only to have a better experience for the streaming participant, i.e. the client who cannot attend live but has to watch from computer. They can not only see better, but it's also a more immersive feeling for them, so they can feel more part of the research. This is not only applicable to what people are saying, but how they are saying it. So actual physical reactions, body expressions, facial language. People have collaborative materials that they brought, like collages or other at-home exercises that participants were asked to do. They can bring that in now and actually show not only the moderator, but that can also be seen now from the stream individual as well. So the experience of what used to be a more limited experience, short of bringing in and spending thousands of dollars on a professional videographer and then the production work afterwards, could now be brought in just through this exciting static camera technology to see what people are doing, to see it in real time, and to be delivering a very high-quality solution at a reasonable cost. So at the end of what here in a moment, we'll share obviously the demonstration of the 360 camera and what that vantage point looks like. But the part that's really exciting, and we pull all this together, what L&E Research has been working on in terms of technology, is from the on-site experience and the recruitment that you experience in your portal, then leads to the actual day of research in this 360 and streaming in a high definition. That then leads also to the other functionalities of streaming, including timestamp, chat functionality, and actual video marketing and editing tools at the end. It really gives the researcher a very powerful tool for a very, very low cost price that allows them to really have an impact on their research truly from start to finish.
Hi, we're L&E Research, and we'd like to introduce you to our video streaming solution and our new 360 camera. To demonstrate, I'll introduce myself. I'm Charlene Randall, VP of Strategic Accounts, and you can see how it works as each one of us talks. So to my right is Michelle Landmesser.
Michelle Landmesser, VP of Sales, based in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Heidi Geringer, Research Design Engineer based in Columbus, Ohio.
Elizabeth Wallenberg, based out of Raleigh. Title is Marketing Manager. Now we're going to hear from Kim about tools such as transcription that is useful after the work is done on site. So Kim, take it away.
Thank you. I'm really excited to talk about transcription services today. And to Brett's point, transcription has become a technology company as well. 15 years ago, when it was your mom or your grandmother's company, we were recording audio on cassette tapes, and they would have to be mailed from the facility to the transcription company and then handed out to the transcriber. We've come a long way since then with the creation of audio files and all the technology that the facility has put in place, so that the timeline has gone from mailing a tape and how long it takes to get there, along with typing it, which could take 2 to 3 days to type, and then often mailing back the physical papers of the transcript and the time it takes to get to the client. We've turned that turnaround time with technology down to 48 hours or less from when the group finishes and you upload the audio to you having Word documents emailed back to you. Creating an order and deciding that you want transcription service and getting all of the pieces of communication from L&E to Focus Forward has had automation and technology assist us as well. Just a few short years ago, we were doing everything via Word document. So you would fill out the entire Word document, and it would be sent over to us via email. We would open that up and input it into our system, which takes time and slows down work and adds some element of cost. Today, we have the L&E transcription portal. It's an easy, clickable link where as you can see on the slide, it asks you all the questions that you need to answer in order to initiate your transcription project. And then at the end, it gives you the opportunity to upload the audio. It comes over to our team immediately, and then within 30 minutes, you would hear from someone on our team confirming it, reaching out, asking any additional questions that are necessary that aren't already captured in the form. The next step in our evolution of working together is going to be an API where all of this information doesn't even need to be put into the website, but it will come over in many ports with the API so that we have most of the information that we need just by you transferring the audio to us and the elements that come over along with it. Automation has allowed us to go from one transcription service to choices in transcription. Choices give you budget-friendly price points and also allow you to have enhanced services that may support the research more than just a flat transcript. So over the course of working together and in finding ways to automate better here, and in going from a flat tape to an audio file, which can be broken up, handed out to different people, brought back together, and proofed at that point, we're able to offer 5 different service levels. First pass would be the service level where it's just typed. Basically, you need it, within 48 hours, and you're using it probably for internal purposes, so cost is important to you. So your clients would want first pass. Edited, which is the next option, is where probably a moderator, it's where the moderator is summarized and the respondent is word for word. So if the same moderator is doing 10 interviews, they may not want to incur the cost of having their same speech typed over and over since they have their discussion guide anyway. Standard is the standard transcription that you've always had, which is the moderator verbatim and the respondent verbatim. Your large corporate clients, your large full-service firms, ones where moderators, there might be several moderators in different cities on a project, they really need that word for word of everything that happened in every city. Enhanced is a new service that we're working on, and we work together where keywords rise to the top of the document so you can see words that are repeated throughout the document, click on them, and actually see the person saying them or hear the person saying them. The last is Excel transcripts, which work great for medical, where you have a lot of repeated questions answered, and then you would like to see the exact answers right next to the questions in one large document. So as we continue to work together, we've been working on the speed, as Brett has said, the speed and quality and price of everything that we provide. So many of in the past, before technology came into play, services, you would often need to get one transcript and then the next and then the next. But since we're able to hire literally hundreds of transcribers, we can increase the speed at which you receive your project. So where our standard turnaround is 48 hours, in the past there was no option to get it any faster. Now, for additional costs, it is possible to expedite your transcript if your client needs that. Expediting happens because transcripts are now crowdsourced, which means that 1 hour of audio comes in, and instead of one person needing to type an hour of audio, which takes 4 hours, we can take that 1 hour of audio and break it up into 6 10-minute segments, and each individual types 10 minutes, which only takes them 30 minutes. Theoretically, we could break that 60 minutes up into 60 individual minutes, and it would only take 3 minutes to type each minute. That would, of course, be dependent on 60 people being available right then to type it, but it is possible to get your transcript done extremely fast. Before technology, that was not available. So our next step in the future of L&E streaming is to tie this transcription and streaming services to an API so that it's in one easy step to get the audio over and changed into text and back to your client in a standardized branded, L&E branded format that they can use. So in conclusion, the easy-to-use transcription service is right now available through the online portal, and we're excited next year to be changing to an API service so that it's even faster and smoother for our two teams to continue to work together.
To me as well is the fact that we will be now through that API also be able to add in, as you can see some of the demo up here, the ability to have individual keyword searching and other elements of the transcription piece be available to clients to allow them to do faster analysis. So very excited about that as well.
Well, Kim, thank you for sharing the advances of transcription solutions and how that can benefit clients. We're very excited about that. And as we conclude this presentation and look at key takeaways, Brett and Kim, let's look at the key benefits that these new technologies present to the qualitative researcher. As we know, business is always seeking the holy triangle of benefits, being quality, speed, and price. So, Brett, let's start with you. How these on-site technologies help clients. How does this help in this regard?
Well, I think the big thing, Elizabeth, to start off with, if we go in price, so obviously we know that the pressures that are being put upon the researcher today from corporate clients is obviously very familiar to everyone. So the great thing about through the usage of these technologies is basically the ability to improve our efficiencies. So not only have we been able to nominalize and moderate costs, recruitment has continued to grow exponentially harder as clients seek a more in low incidence, higher attitudinal based research. Despite those challenges, our ability to implement these technologies and to get a more efficient recruit base has helped there. And then we continue on with that into all the way the worlds of like streaming, which as we've continued to develop our own solutions as opposed to other solutions. There's only one other solution in streaming out there, and while we offer it, we are seeing more clients who are obviously gravitating to ours in part because of not only the quality they see, but again, the much lower price that we can involve as we develop these technologies and are able to provide them to clients in a manner that is, not a more monopolistic basis. So the price there certainly is, as we are seeing, is directly impacted by, just the innovation of technology and improvement on it. Speed certainly is a major issue here as well. Speed not only through recruitment and our ability to recruit studies faster. Again, the days of 3 weeks and 4 weeks are almost long since gone, and our clients are typically usually in the 1 to 2 week range now. So it's been our ability to leverage from both the recruiting on the recruiting side specifically and automated reporting. We are allowed to get speed, obviously, considerably picked up, and I know Kim will talk a little bit more about this, specifically as it relates to speed from transcription side. But it allows the research to go to a more of a weeks process and less of a months kind of process. And I think quality, the last touch on from as we look up to just the execution of work and what we see, you really are touched at every level. Recruiting is better as we have a better understanding of the people that we're bringing in. from project management and reporting through client portal and such. We are seeing, the ability to have better communication with clients, so we eliminate misunderstandings, confusion, possible misrecruit situations are addressed early on. These all result in better research outcomes. That means that when the corporate client is there, there's less snafus and things that happen. And then, of course, we get to the 360 and the streaming solution and then high definition, which allows us to have that more immersive videographer type feel experience without actually having to pay for it. And our actual pricing models that have that really are basically in line with what the industry was looking at from a recording standpoint. So what used to be kind of fee-based for just video recordings now, we are offering at very comparable levels to include this entire package of streaming, including cameras, and then as well providing end tools as far as video marketing, editing, and chat feature functionality, and so forth. So really, we're the evolution of this, and what we are seeing today, and the investments that we made in these technologies are really allowing us to approach each area of the triangle as both price, speed, and quality, and improve those for the researcher.
Thanks for that summary, Brett. We've had a few questions come in from our audience, so I'm going to go ahead and read those off to you both. First one is for Kim. A lot of new solutions exist today that have automated speech to text. Why are human transcripts necessary anymore, and when do you see human transcripts going away entirely?
Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely some automated solutions out there. We find that any automation works best and kind of only works with individual speakers. Automation of speech to text just really isn't there yet when it comes to groups. So when you have 7 or 8 or multiple speakers, or even 2 or 3, automation doesn't discern between the speakers very well, and whereas a human might not be able to hear a few words of text or becomes inaudible, and they'll write inaudible. When a computer is listening to words, it literally types nothing. So where we talk about the quality not being as good with automation, it's a little bit of a misnomer in that it's not poor quality. The words on the page don't actually exist if the automation can't clearly pick it up. So if you think about it, it's similar to talking to your iPhone. If the person knows that they're going to be typed later, and it's one person, and they're intently speaking into the speaker, it's likely that you can get maybe 80% accuracy for that individual speaker. As you move away from that to 2 speakers, 3 speakers, groups, less than perfect situations where audio is being recorded, which include a moderator who likes to walk around the room, the ability of a computer to discern the speech and accurately transfer it to the page declines greatly. Many of those programs, the automated programs, they're free or very inexpensive to use online. Anyone can test them. The result really is, it's challenging to use for anything other than an individual speaker who knows they're being typed. When that will improve, it's advanced. We have not seen major advancements in the last few years. So I don't see anything immediate on the horizon that's going to replace humans doing transcripts. But what has changed, however it still uses a human, is segmenting the work. Instead of having one person type an hour of sound and having it take 4 hours, again, you can take those sound bites, break them up into smaller bites, and have an actual human listen to them. It can be combined back together and then proofread by another individual, and that will give you a professional quality transcript. It definitely solves your problem of speed. It keeps quality high, and it is cost effective for the professional transcript. Of course, automation is significantly lower cost if you can do it over the internet, but you're not going to get the type of quality that your corporate clients are looking for. accuracy of an actual when it comes to groups, the words on the page and the moderator and the respondent speech captured so that they can do their analysis and pick out the main ideas for their research.
So this next question is for Brett. I've used streaming solutions before, and clients regularly either can't use it or the video quality is poor. Why is this happening, and what are streaming companies like L&E doing to solve this problem?
So Elizabeth, there's a couple points to that question. So I'll start with video quality. So today, streaming solutions is what streaming solutions are using is directly correlative to what the outcomes will be. So the original cameras of old for Polycoms, as an example, when you looked at basically we look at video quality and we talk about resolution. So resolution at its base level, if you think about like your television as an example, most televisions operate in what they call 1080. So it's a pixel count of a 10,000 and 1,080, 1,080 pixels, right? Televisions of lore, and then of course what you also see in your typical video are considerably lower, even sometimes as low as 360 or even 240. So when you think about video quality, it 100% is based on two things. Number one, it's based on the actual camera technology. Some streaming solutions are still using, for example, when people say HD, that they offer HD, the really important question to ask them is that I know you offer HD, but will my recording be and my streaming be in HD? And that's the critical difference. And the point being is that do they have HD cameras throughout their solutions? So the fact that they may offer HD solutions, if you look at the fine print, typically you'll often find that they are not in fact utilizing HD cameras. And then of course they're also not utilizing, as another piece, the other piece then is also the actual streaming side of it. So once the audio video is captured, you then of course have to broadcast that. And the broadcast is directly affected by what we call the last mile of technology. So as an example, I can broadcast in our offices, all of our cameras and for our stationary rooms and 360 cameras provide HD quality camera solutions. We've recently upgraded all of even our static streaming to be to be HD. But that doesn't mean that once we broadcast it from our offices, which are all fiber enabled, so we get that. But once they get to who's watching, that is where we run into the next challenge, which is as the last mile. It's based on what kind of internet connection the client is using. And most people are surprised to find that the biggest challenges that we see for that, based on where the clients are, the end clients, the corporate clients, specifically if they're at their offices watching the streaming, is where we see the most challenges, which is why we strongly encourage them to do testing before, because the two issues that are usually going on there, and the primary ones, are that most corporations, their IT departments, are doing two things. Number one, they generally do not allow streaming. That's usually considered to be something of a IT signature that is questionable, i.e. that somebody might be using for other means besides work. So they need to ensure that the address that they are using for the streaming, which we provide, is what we call whitelisted. So the actual client is there doing it. This is applicable for no matter who is streaming the work. IT has to whitelist it. The other thing is that the on-site facility might be doing what they call throttling it, which means that they are not allowing a more broader, higher broadcast signal, the IT bandwidth, if you would, is not being enabled to enable fast speeds. So humorously, what we find is typically the people that have the least amount of problems are the ones who are going home and watching it when they are doing streaming, utilizing their home broadband internet solutions, as most folks in the corporate world today have, typically good quality broadband internet solutions at home. So In any event, those are usually the two big reasons why we see that there are problems on the other end. And the big thing that we're working with clients is education and helping them making sure that they have a good experience by testing everything before we get to the day of the research to ensure we can help them in their IT departments ensure that they are up and running the way they should be.
Okay, this next question is for both of you. Where do you both see the future of in-person research going, and how will these and other technologies serve that future? What is on the horizon to enable qualitative research to be better and of more value to corporate researchers? So, Brett, why don't you start us off there?
Well, I think for me, it's a good question. Future, as I mentioned before, we look at future, and most of the future has really been focused on the analytics and as well as online technologies. Everybody thinks of those as faster. How do we get the data quicker? In many cases, they can be faster in person. But usually the trade-off when you see that speed is usually a suffrage of quality, as you have to get into panel solutions for recruitment, or the incidence levels are very high to try to do very fast turnaround work. So if you want to do a quick scrape, some of that online technology is done, and we do that all the time for clients as far as the recruitment for that. But when you look at, when you also look at the in-person experience, and when I think about the future, I'm now talking about the in-person experience, right? And we're seeing a lot of resurgence in demand for in-person research, and I think that what society is, or I should say the corporate society, the corporate research society specifically, is remembering is, this is a sociological issue. We are a species that operates, we don't typically operate in a vacuum or by ourselves. It's the holiday season, for depending on where you are, and, it's going on, and but you can buy. Let's just say, for example, it is the holiday season. You go out and buy things. You're probably buying things on Amazon, right? And so, I might be buying that individually, but tomorrow I'll be walking down or going to my car, and I'll hop in and I'll go to the grocery store and I'll be buying things there. The next day I'll be buying things that for my golf game, as an example, and I'm probably going to talk to my friends about, like, hey, what are you using, and or maybe talking to a golf pro or so forth. So, the in-person research experience. Still, despite its, what many people have been trying to, quote unquote, think it's going to go away, we're seeing resurgence in it. And I think it's again back to the need and see that people, we still operate in groups, we still think in groups. Group dynamics are important, and really now what we need to focus on, what we're trying to focus on as part of this, what we've been presenting on today, is how do you make the in-person experience better? So, immersive camera technologies. Working with Kim at Focus Forward to how we provide better analytics for speed. How can we provide better collaboration is some things that we're also continuing to work on and talk about, not only together but also with other technology solutions. So, it's about how can you make the in-person experience better to where you allow people to, clients to not have to be on site but still feel very much a part of the experience, as well as the speed to enable them to get results faster and then turn that around in the field.
Okay, and Kim, did you have anything else to add? Again, the question was, where do you both see the future of in-person research going, and how will these and other technologies serve that future?
Yeah, in relationship to transcription and what we're partnering with L&E on, it's getting the transcripts back. Everybody wants, as to Brett's point, research faster. And for those high incidence projects where they're committed to getting it there, to getting the research done faster, they also want their transcripts faster. So by segmenting the transcript, we're able to get it back to them on a quicker deadline if that's what they need. Items like transferring the information to us quicker through the online website and through the future API. Also, all automation helps in shortening up that timeline so that we can get the written word back the text back to the researcher as quickly as possible. And really the last step on that arc is doing more than just getting back to them the words on the page, but actually having the transcript support the research. And that is where enhanced transcription comes in, where the frequently used words are at the top of the document, they're clickable, and the theory is that if a number of people in a group, or if a number of individual respondents in individual interviews or TDIs are describing the product or the service that's being researched using the same terms, that's probably relevant. So we're trying to use transcripts to help the researchers get to their insights faster. And so it's going beyond just supplying them the text of the group, but also helping them take that first step towards insights.
Great. Well, I want to thank Brett and Kim for joining us today. If you have any questions about the qualitative research technology that we discussed today, or you'd like to get a free demo of one of these products, our contact information can be found on this slide. Thank you.
Exciting technologies to better understand your customer are here, and L&E Research has partnered with the most innovative companies to offer you turnkey solutions to better understanding your customers' needs. If you would like to learn more about our technology offerings or have a study and would like a second opinion on how to incorporate these technologies, call for a free consultation with one of our research design engineers or email us. Thank you for watching L&E Research's webinar series on the latest industry technologies. Have a great day.